We'll go ahead and call to order our May 14, 2024 regular scheduled meeting of mayor and selectmen. I'd like to ask our esteemed city attorney to lead us in invocation, please.
All right, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you and we praise you for your grace and your mercy and allowing us this opportunity to serve as servants to the outstanding city of West Point. Father, as with all things, we pray for your guidance and your direction with respect to every decision that is made. Give us discernment, give us insight, but most of all, reflective of hearts and minds. We're grateful for these public servants, and we're grateful for the citizens who are here to participate and those who are watching. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I entertain a motion to adopt and approve the agenda, I'd like to take a moment to reflect, a moment of silence, if you will, to remember our fallen comrade, Selectman Jasper Pittman, representative of Ward 5. Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt and approve the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Second. Moving proper second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. Entertain a motion to accept our consent agenda.
So moved.
Moving proper second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. I will wait on select woman Turner.
Hello.
Hello. All right, good. Under new business, agenda item 4, as we all know, as a result of the passing of Selectman Jasper Pittman of Ward 5, the seat has been vacated, and pursuant to Section Code 2315-857, there has to be a special election. I will let our city attorney chime in and give us the parameters of that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know that none of the board members nor anyone in the city would want to move so quickly with this, but there are certain requirements under the law. And so it is not that this board is being insensitive. The law places this obligation on us to make this decision at the next regular board meeting. The statute literally says that. And of course, this is the next regular board meeting after the death of Selectman Pittman. And so, Mr. Mayor, we are under statutory obligation to proceed. Let me address a couple of things and then I'll talk about the procedures. A number of people in our community have inquired about whether or not there is an appointment process that this board might engage in to fill what is now sadly a vacancy in the Ward 5 Selectman's office. There are provisions in the law for the appointment under similar circumstances. The difference is that when you have a situation where the term is more than 6 months, that is the unexpired term, the remaining time on the term is more than 6 months, then it is, as the mayor has pointed out, a special election and not an appointment by this board. So there will be a special election. The first order of business that I believe, Mr. Mayor, the board has to take up is that the city, of course, has a municipal election commission that has the responsibility for conducting many of the aspects of the election. It's my understanding that we have 2 members of that commission. The third member has passed. And so the first thing that I recommend that the board do is appoint a third member of the municipal election commission. I recommend then after that, Mr. Mayor, that for purposes of the minutes, which has to be provided to the Secretary of State's office, that the board declare the office of the Ward 5 Selectman vacant as a result of the death of the late Honorable Jasper Pittman. Secondly, that on the advice of the city attorney who has reviewed both our charter and the law, that we declare the necessity for a special election in light of the amount of time remaining on the unexpired term. What this board will have to consider is when, of course, that election would take place, and that has to be done tonight, as I indicated in my preliminary comments. And so it has to be no earlier than June 13th and no later than June 28th. For those who might be wondering, that is, it can't be any sooner than 30 days and can't be any later than 45 days. And my calculation reveals that those are the dates. I would say, Madam Clerk, that we would want something longer than 30 days because notice has to run in the paper and it has to begin 30 days at least from the date of the election. And so if we set it 30 days from the date, that doesn't give you enough time. And so my recommendation to this board would be something in the range of 40 days or 40-ish so that the notice can be prepared and be published in the paper and have us meet the statutory requirements. And then after that point, the city clerk, along with those municipal election commissioners, the commission, with my advice and support, of course, would make sure that we properly carry out the special election, Mr. Mayor. So there are 3 or 4 motions that we need to take care of to position us to have our clerk to go ahead with that notice and to allow then candidates to qualify. There is no qualification fee for the special election. There are no party primaries. There's an election where whoever qualifies has an opportunity to run. The election will take place on that date. The person that receives the majority of the votes, and that's a legal term here, literally the majority of the votes. If that does not occur, then there is a runoff process in the same way. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to entertain any questions before the board takes further action.
So as I understand what you said, the first order of business is filling the third person vacancy on the election commission.
That's right, Mr. Mayor. They're going to have lots of responsibilities, just like with any election cycle for the municipality. And so we need that commission rounded out for those purposes.
A question, City Attorney, you said no later than June the 28th. All right,
Yes.
let's say if we held the first election on the 27th, and there was a need for a runoff, would that runoff violate the purpose of 45 days?
No, the time period that I gave you,
It's called
Selectman
first.
Rivera, only relates to the initial election.
Okay. Okay. And the reason I say that, the 28th on a Friday and the 27th on a Thursday,
Correct.
or the 25th on a Tuesday.
Right. It doesn't have to be on a Tuesday, but I think that Tuesday works nicely if it works with the board, because that gives us enough time to do all the things that we need to do.
I got a question, City Attorney. When we go through the process and vote on everything done, when will be the qualification? When will that open up for candidates?
It would begin immediately, and then there's a cutoff for that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's why we have to get the notices. The notice has to be at least 30 days before the election, so that folks have an opportunity to do that. And then there's a cutoff. Again, I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say that in that we live stream what we're doing here.
Right.
But all of that will be made available.
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
because if we're trying to keep it in line with that Tuesday, which will be June 25th, we'll be at MML, or we've approved travel for MML. Does that have any bearing on?
Said it the week before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be on a Tuesday. It's easy for people to remember election days on a Tuesday, but this is a special election, and the only requirements in terms of time is not less than 30 and not more than 45. So it can be set anytime within that period.
June 18th, is June 18th, I mean, we'll get to that, but that is June 18th.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so in light of, any more questions for the attorney?
Thank you.
In light of the attorney's assessment,
The 18th is gonna be that 30-day notification, is gonna be right at the edge. If today's the 14th, if we pass this tonight, then is it gonna get published tomorrow?
We would still have a couple days to be able to get it in the paper. It's a little tight.
Yeah, that's tight.
It's gonna be the Daily Times, but I think Daily Times, but we have to have it in by Friday by 12.
So if it goes in the paper, if you get it in by Friday, it'll be in Sunday's paper, will be the first print. That's on the 19th.
and it's gonna run for 30 days. Is that what you're saying?
The first notice has to run for 30 days. It only has to run in the paper for three consecutive weeks, but that from the first notice until the date of the election has to be at least 30 days.
All right. We run Sunday 19.
So early to even get it in on the 19th, on the Sunday.
So yeah, the 30 days would be up on June 17th, by my calculations. And if you set the date to June 18th, you get it
That 19th is the drop dead day for us 30 days to the election. Exactly 30 days. And counting weekends.
in. Right.
Right. We could go beyond that, it just can't be any earlier.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that the notice is in, once everything's approved, the notice is running Sunday. And then that gives us the time slot that we need to close the 30 days.
Well, let me ask you this, can we buy ourselves some insurance for whatever reason if we posted it on the city website tomorrow? Well, that doesn't qualify as
The
publication.
statute is specific about newspapers.
Newspapers, okay.
You have to do some other posting, like
Right.
at City Hall, but
But
it's
I'm just saying,
specific to
so many
newspapers.
people get their news off of social media now.
Yeah, the statutes have been caught up with technology.
Got a question. No, the 25th, we'll be out of town. We don't have to be here for the meeting.
No, the election commissioners have to be here and poll workers and that sort of thing.
But we're not involved in
We're not
poll
involved, right.
workers. That's all part of the process.
All right, so for the sake of time, let me do this. Let's go ahead and take agenda item 5, which is tackling the vacancy on the election commission. I have talked to and gotten interest from Scott Ross. He has agreed to serve in that capacity, but I'm open for other names. That's just the only person that has expressed interest to me.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we appoint Mr. Scott Ross to the election commission for the city of West Point.
Second.
It's been moved properly second in discussion. All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? That is so ordered. Okay, now we'll take agenda item 4, which is formally declaring the vacancy first of all. Yes, sir. So I need a motion to declare the seat of Ward 5, City of West Point, currently held by deceased Selectman Honorable Jasper Pittman, as vacant.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion that we declare it vacant.
Second.
It's been moved properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? Are you clear on the wording? And then the third, that was said.
I had just another question real quick. I know we're talking about the Daily Times and the number of frequency. Would it be legal to advertise it in the Commercial Dispatch? Because it has a large publication in this area, in the West Point area.
Yeah, typically it discusses the newspaper in the county. Statutes are typically written that way. You're right. I mean, there are other papers
That come into here, but I mean, it's printed every day.
yeah, I would want to have it in there.
Okay. I was trying to give us some more days.
All right, and then lastly, we need to collectively decide on what day we want to have it and what day that we'll start running the advertising. Discussion. I'm kind of lobbying for either setting the date for June 18th, which kind of pushes it on that 30-day threshold, or setting it for the 25th, since there's no need for any of this administration to be present. And that gives us ample time to meet the statutory requirements.
And I think our citizens, they used to vote on the Tuesday, I think 25th people.
Only hesitation about the 25th, that we're all gone. All your administration is gone. Like, no one's here. Although it ran by the election commission, we're needed for anything, but we're all gone. We won't be here.
So
The
the
20th.
18th, we would be able to get everything done to set it by the 18th?
Pending we ran the first print Sunday, right? We get it. Can we make that happen?
Keep in mind, we have on the ballot. You have to do all that.
I'm just gonna throw this out. I know we're gonna be gone the first part of that week, and I know the 27th, which is a Thursday, is not on a Tuesday, obviously. But knowing the timing of everything think about the race itself, the candidates that's gonna qualify, I don't know who they are, but when you shorten that time frame, I know a week may not sound like a lot, but a week is a huge time frame. I will be back that Thursday, because I've always head back that week. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make it as fair as possible by giving as much time as possible to get but that, I know that doesn't fall on a Tuesday though. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts.
I'm not opposed to moving it to a Thursday. We're setting it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Considering the dates that we are working with.
Right, and the fact that we're gonna be out of town that first part of the week, and then, and again, and I don't know who they possibly could be, but whoever is qualified, they're gonna want every single day they can to talk to people and try to get their message out. And I know we shouldn't be concerned with that, but at the same time, it is an election. Y'all know how quick of a turnaround, and I don't know what the lead time are on ballots. Do you know this, Dolores?
I don't, but I just texted Ms. Swift on it. I'm not sure the turnaround on it. I'm quite sure we'll have to spend some extra money to get them.
Expedited.
Yeah. Whoever prints those, I'm sure they are astute in special elections. Time frame, so I'm sure they'll turn it around for us. I guess lastly, we probably need to decide on the day of the election, and then we need to, or do you need to do more research before we set a cap on, qualifying?
Yeah, those details are set out by statute. And so we'll be able to do that. So when we prepare the notices, there'll be information that will be available to potential candidates.
So what do I hear?
What date is it, is it Thursday? What date is it?
That is the 27th.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we set the special election for June 27th, Thursday.
I second.
No, that's set by statute.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved properly second in discussion. All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. All right, agenda item 6. Last night, CAO Jones presented three quotes for the lease purchase of the forklift that we recently purchased. And I think he said that the lowest bidder came in was Bank First.
That's correct.
I will need a motion to accept that quote.
Make a motion that we accept the Bank First quote on the lease purchase of the forklift.
Second.
Moving properly second in discussion. All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? That is so ordered. All right, at this time, for items 7 and 8, I declare us officially open public hearing to take up matters concerning a couple of blighted properties. I will ask Mr. Samuel if you'll come to the podium and give us some backdrop.
Selected attorney. We have 2 pieces of property that are burned property, that houses are burned, that dated back to November 2022. And I've recently, since last month, sent out the board hearing, certified letter, first notice, second, final notice. I don't know exactly, Chief, you remember both those properties. One was our site, 180 Sykes Street, and the other was 40 Chandler Street. Yeah, those are the 2 right there. The first one here is 180. Yes, 180 Sykes Street, and this property is owned by EJC and BM Properties. And I tried to get in contact with the owners of the property, and haven't had any response or compliance. And the other, or should I just?
We'll take them one at a time.
Okay, one at a time.
So you've done the necessary, taken the necessary legal steps in notifying on this property located at 180 Sykes Street. The legal parcel is 081, A as in apple, 308, B as in boy, 007, 0000, belonging to a EJC and BM Properties LLC.
Yes.
Is there a representative from EJC and BM Properties LLC present? EJC and BM Properties LLC. EJC and BM Properties LLC. None being present, what do I hear?
One thing, Mr. Sandy, can you describe again for our minutes the condition of this property? I don't believe we have pictures of it.
Yeah, and I apologize. I must have left them on my desk, so nasty, but,
You can give us a description, what
it's actually the property is burned inside, parts of the outside, roofing, it's beyond repair. I don't see any refurbishing taking place with it, and if so, it'll be tons of time and,
and you notified the owners with no response?
no response.
And the yard, is it maintained, far as it grown up, grass?
It hasn't.
Okay, so not only is the structure completely gone from a fire damage, but it's also the landscaping of the yard and whatnot that's in the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Okay.
What do I hear?
I motion that we declare that the property blighted.
Second.
Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? So ordered.
I got some discussion on that. Hasn't this property been kind of passed along from one property owner to the other? And so it's been sitting there in that neighborhood for quite a while. And I know we usually try to give property owners a period of time, but we also don't, that period of time has been a luxury that we give the property owners, so we can actually act on this quicker than what we normally. Don't we have a turnaround that we can jump on it and get it done? And if we clean it up, then that cost is associated to the taxes of that property.
Correct.
And I'm just saying that because I know how long this one has gone on and on and on. Yeah.
Right. Agenda item 8, will you give us some backdrop on the property located at 40 Chandler Street?
Yes, the property on 40 Chandler Street also has been burned since November of 2022, and I contacted the owner with the first response, from the first letter. I did get a response back from the owner's brother, and he notified me and told me that it was his sister's property, and she had fell ill, and she had some medical issues that was taking place. He assured me he was going to take care of the property and go through the necessary steps. But upon my revisit, and that was ample amount of time because the first letter was written out in November, which it was another, well, the process started back under the leadership of Eddie Longstreet here.
Okay.
And my first letter was dated back to November 7th of last year. And that's when I heard the response from the brother. So I separated enough time for them to get everything situated, which I never heard another response back from them. So I went through the necessary steps and the procedures that we go through, and did everything as far as notification to the publications and everything like that, and still heard no response from them. And that happened to be another piece of property that's burned, which we inspected the property outside, and it's just, even with the landscaping part of it, with the vehicle that's parked out there, abandoned vehicle that's parked outside also, and it's to the point where I said, well, we got to make a move on it because I have been getting complaints on it, getting phone calls about it, so I said, it's time to, go ahead and take the part.
So this is property 40 Chandler Street, legal parcel number is 083, B as in boy, 211, B as in boy, 06, 10100, belonging to a Ebony Morris. Is Ebony Morris present? Ebony Morris? Ebony Morris? Not being present, what do I hear?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make that motion, we declare this property a nuisance.
Second.
Moving properly second, any discussion?
And that's my ward, a couple of streets from me. And only thing they did since it been burnt down, they put boards up on the one, and now the boards ain't up there, so it did come down.
Any more discussion? All in favor by sign of vote now. Any opposers? So ordered. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I now declare us out of public hearing. Agenda item 9, asking for board approval for travel for accreditation officer Ms. Queenie Dean to attend a manager's training, accreditation manager's training. Location is Biloxi, Mississippi. Dates are June 18th and 19th this year. What do I hear?
I make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Moving properly second, in discussion. All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposes? So ordered. Agenda item 10, asking for approval for travel for Police Chief Avery Cook to attend the MACP Summer Conference. Location Biloxi, Mississippi. Dates are June 18th through 21st this year.
So move.
Second.
Moving properly second, in discussion. All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. Agenda item 11, asking for approval for travel for Assistant Chief Michael Edwards to attend 2024 MACP Summer Conference. Location is Biloxi, Mississippi. Dates are June 18th through 21st of this year.
So.
Second.
Moving properly second, in discussion. All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. Agenda item 12, asking for board approval for travel chief water treatment operator, Mr. Lawrence White, to attend the Mississippi Rural Water Association Conference. Location is Biloxi, Mississippi. Dates are May 28th through 31st this year. What do I hear?
So move.
Second.
Moving properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So ordered. Agenda item 13, asking for board approval for travel for Chief Wastewater Operator, Mr. Sean Doss, to attend the Mississippi Rural Water Association Annual Management Technical Conference.
So move.
Second.
Yeah, let me get through reading, but let It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. We're moving to department head reports, starting with EMA Director, Mr. Torrey Williams.
Good. Thank you.
Other than what's in that board report, I want to let y'all know that we did have a special case where we helped a elderly lady get some, she had some water issues, plumbing and things like that. We helped her out with that. Got several donors and things like that. Ms. Scott went to the long-term, her and myself went to the long-term, the affordable housing conference. She went there, we brought back a lot of information, different grants, loan opportunities that's gonna be available to, it is available to our, to your constituents. So we're gonna get some stuff together, and get some dates out. We're gonna have like a little symposium, where they can come and get the information. And it's just for renters, homeowners to landlords. And it may be able to help with some of the property that the landlords have around town.
You mean help with some of the property? Could you go into detail like the things that we'll be assisting with?
The grants, some of the grants assist, those, landlords with, rehabbing structures that they have, clean up of property. I know in some areas around town that they've been kind of, trash and things like that, that they may be able to help with. In the EMA office, we've had, complaints of, mold and some other things like that, and that may be an avenue that those landlords can use to help with their property, if they so choose. Code Red, we're switching from Code Red, that's a big one, over to HyperReach. HyperReach is a different company. We're going to try to migrate everyone over. Once we fully come online with HyperReach, we will have a sign-up period And then if they can't sign up, if somebody has a problem with signing up, they can call the office. But HyperReach does the reverse calling, just like Code Red. It also offers some other technology that we can use as far as the app. They can have an app on their phone, as well as having banners and things on websites. So whatever device or whatever website they're using, if some kind of warning is issued, we're able to do that and send that out, as well as our water issues and things like that. We get with Street and them on that and getting them sign-ons. So if we have a boil water notice, or if they're doing something in an area, or it's water or electric, they're able to send that out, draw around that area, so everybody's not notified, just the people that's in the area.
So to register, or registration is needed only if you were not registered for Code Red?
That's correct. What we'll do is we'll send a test message out, and if you will let everybody know if you didn't get the text message, call in and we'll get you registered.
Question, will there be a fee associated with that?
The fee is same as Code Red. It's cost shared with the county. But the cost for it is slightly lower
Right.
on Code Red than it was,
Right.
I'm sorry, on HyperReach than it was on Code Red.
It'll be same landline calls and cell phone calls.
Same, the number will be different. We have a local number that should be calling, so it's gonna look a little different.
Okay.
And then on the caller ID, it says West Point, Clay County. So it should
Okay, thank you.
kind of more customized. That's all I have.
One more thing, Mr. Will. What about, what we on the weather boxes?
The weather boxes, I did contact Precision, we had another conversation. They no longer manufacture that box anymore, surprisingly. So, they're giving me quotes and stuff on that, and we're reaching out to, different foundations like Fort County, that has a mitigation grant and some other things to try to get those, all of them replaced.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Wilbur, Fire Department.
Other than my report, I have nothing to say for you guys in the fire academy here in week 6. Doing well. Got graduation in the 23rd.
Any questions for Fire Chief?
You staffing good? You staffing good, okay.
Thank
So
you.
next board meeting, we expect to congratulate 3 graduates.
And it's my understanding they're doing exceptionally well on the testing part.
Yes. Right now, they're average, the lowest average of any on above 9 inches.
Old scholars. Thank you, sir. Public Works, Mr. Cox.
I got that. I like to open it up, thank the guys for wonderful job they did over the weekend. Whole team. Yeah.
Great job, great job.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate all the departments that chipped in and made this past weekend a success. It took a collective effort from, Fire Department, EMA, Public Works, Johnny on the spot, Police Department, Sheriff Department. Everybody chipped in, man, and made sure that everybody was safe and made sure that we had what we needed. So I appreciate that.
And I'm hearing the crowd turnout was exceptionally large.
Yeah. Very scary. But it was a good time. Police Chief?
Good evening.
I will ask the board, I have 4 candidates for hire, 1 full-time officer and 3 part-time officers. The first one will be the full-time officer, Emmanuel Vance. She's uncertified, He's expressed interest in being a police officer. He's from West Point.
Emmanuel Vance.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the recommendation for the full-time hire.
Yes, ma'am.
So move.
Second.
Moved properly second, and we hire Mr. Emmanuel Vance. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? So ordered.
The next three would be, part-time officers. They're all, of course, they're all certified. Two, got some issues of movement and going on. And they express interest, once they get the business fixed, they will come on full-time.
Before you get started, Chief, you said all three are certified or two are
Yes,
certified?
all three are certified.
Okay.
The first one is Lexus Ware.
Lexus where?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's she from?
That's a he.
He, I'm sorry. Where are they from? Where is he from?
All three are from Columbus.
All three from Columbus. Okay, so move.
Second.
Moved properly second, in discussion. All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? So ordered.
The next one is Shanta, Shanta McNair.
Columbus as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So move.
Second.
Moved and properly second, and we hire Mr. McNair. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? So ordered.
The next one is Lakita Williams.
Can you spell that?
Laketa.
Williams.
Williams.
I make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Moved and properly second, and we hire Ms. Williams. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? That's so ordered. Chief, will you kind of give us for the board's information and for the public's information, where we are on our cameras?
Yes, I got an email yesterday that we had the company that the board approved, that there has the first camera built, and they're ready to put it at the location. And each week after we give it the location for this one, each week after that, we have a camera put in, a total of eight cameras around the city. So the first one will be at the intersection of 45 and 90.
Oh, they gonna see it.
They need to know.
So criminals beware, we will be watching.
Big brother watching.
Once we get the first one in at the end of this week, then from each week after that, she'll deal one and put it up
For the next 8 weeks.
for the next 8 weeks. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. We're moving in the right direction. I appreciate it. Any more questions for Chief?
Chief, same question I asked the fire chief. How you staff?
We're getting there.
I get it?
While we're on the subject of cameras, I gotta give our IT director, Mr. Roy Cox, a pat on the back. One of the things that I identified is that we, in the past, have had no surveillance at our critical infrastructure sites, that being our wastewater treatment plant, our water treatment plant, and I just thought that was not acceptable, in the climate that we find ourselves living in. Now, I don't think West Point's high on a terrorist threat list, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that something could happen. And so to minimize that or just, vandalism threats, I asked him to get us some cameras and get us some surveillance at these critical infrastructure sites. And he's jumped on it, and we've got one site taken care of. Is that right, Roy? And we got more to come. And so I just want to tell you, man, I really appreciate you jumping on that and making it happen, because I think it's needed. All right, any more questions for Chief Cook?
Another thing I want to bring up, I mentioned it last night, being proactive. The county, they got certain ordinances that, about the nightclubs and everything. And so I would not like to see that. Since the county got an ordinance and people come to the city with their parties and stuff like that. So we got to watch for that. We got to keep the city safe too. So,
So they invited you are the lawmaking authority.
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying, yes, sir. Yeah, but I mean, cause they, last week the city was, not saying Country Fest, but it was another event they had shit down, and so many folks.
Any more questions, concerns for police chief? Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Park and Rec,
Just what was on my reports that we talked about, and then I've gotten with Mercer Electric this morning, that was in, I mean, with, Perry Electric Monday. So, we're getting there.
Thank you for taking care of the West End Mile situation. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, okay, stay with them.
all right, any more questions for Park and Rec? Deputy CAO, Carruthers.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, and Attorney, and City Clerk. Basically, as Chris stated, we did receive a truck. There was a question asked last night about that total savings, with all three of those grants. It's actually, the total project was $199,994, almost $200,000 to get those 4 pieces of equipment. And we were successful in securing $66,257 in grant funding to reduce it down to $134,000. We're working with ARC to move forward. I spoke with Phyllis. Phyllis stated that it would, if there's a special call meeting, that she would love to get the contract approved for the at-will and jet situation, but Mr. Jones is the cornerstone of that, and I have not seen the contract, and she said that he hasn't, and that if there's a special call board meeting, would the board please consider putting it on the agenda, and that's to move forward with that EV charging station. We just got a letter from the federal government stating that we finally got cleared. Then we had to write a letter because of their red tape to ask for an extension of time.
So CAO Jones is kind of spearheading
He's
that.
gonna have, he was there in the beginning, and I mean, he knows the whole parameters. He was there when they did the bid openings for, the services, services, and who's gonna oversee the construction of that. Yes, sir.
All right, we'll, breathe life back into that conversation upon his return.
I got your answers, and I'll get you after the meeting because he won't talk to you off the record.
Okay.
Your wishes, my man. Okay.
Any more questions for Chairman?
I know the original site location for that EV charging station is on Main Street, right there across the street from where the Andes and that section there. Does that site interfere with any of our future plans with the property and the development of what was going on with it?
It does not. I think that it was strategically carved out of.
Okay,
that whole-
I just thought about that.
I think it's something that answer for.
Yeah, it's gonna look good when all of this stuff.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes, sir.
need an update on phase 2 street paving.
Okay.
I know Mr. Freeman back there will help you out.
I have a list of one of them. Matter of fact, Mr. Freeman and I had, spoke briefly.
I know we're at the end of phase 2, so we're gonna start on phase 3, so.
Yeah.
Not quite the end.
Not quite yet. Okay.
That will get taken care of.
Okay.
When you see the finish line, I think. Phase 2 then. Y'all straight?
I had it. And that was lost in the sugar. Focus on that. You got this?
They hadn't paid the last 2 days, I'm scared about the weather.
Okay.
But, there's some continued patching, they've got through the area, Grove, Jones, that area's got milled and everything, they should start back paying probably more. They're out on Lone Oak Road today patching.
Right.
Everything's they're moving right along. We're going through this pretty quick. We are gonna have to do some, detailed planning on commerce. So that's gonna be a headache for a lot of businesses.
Well, let me ask you this, I know that this is not the first time that Commerce has been, resurfaced.
Right,
And I think you guys were the engineers of record last time, if I'm correct.
yes.
So what was the plan then to notify?
That, and APAC is willing to come in on the weekend, it will kind of bleed over. And what, we can kind of decide one or two ways, kind of get milled up, and everybody live with it for a week. And then come back on a weekend, come back the following weekend and pay. Or if you wanna, fill it up on the weekend and try to get it paid, it's gonna take them probably a day and a half to pay it. So, you know, probably talking on Monday, Tuesday at least, getting it paid. But, you know, APAC's willing to work with us any way we want to do that.
Can it be coordinated? Well, they probably want Memorial Day off too. I was like, can it be coordinated
Yeah.
around Memorial Day
You
that
know,
Monday?
we understood about commerce, Castle Festival, so we definitely shot this past weekend and didn't want to even think about it.
Right.
And,
So we gotta get it done. We know that.
That's right, and we can, you know, we can get past Memorial Day and look at it. And it's gonna be another thing, kind of gotta keep in mind, once we pay, it's gonna be a little bit for the strike guys get in, so parking's gonna be, crazy, everybody's gonna be parking whichever way they wanna park a little bit till they get the strike done. But, you know,
Growing
that's just
pains.
part of the, and APAC, like I said, they're willing to work weekends if we need to. I know Magnolia does lunch Sundays, so that may, you know, if they're milling, that's gonna be something we're gonna need to at least talk to them about, too, how they wanna, you know.
If I'm not mistaken, they're the only business open on Sundays.
I believe that's right.
But from the vast majority of the customer or business owners on, I think they would be able to live with the mill it on one weekend, have the rough ride for 5 days and then paid it the next week. Trying not to disrupt their business as much as possible. I think that's our goal. That would be what I would.
Maybe something we need to discuss with business owners too, just kind of give it, they're gonna need heads up, I think.
And have they not already been kind of brought in? Because I know based on the pre-construction meeting before the paving, that was discussed during that meeting, bringing the business on and then letting them know.
But now, we have not talked to each individual business owner, and I don't know, maybe somewhere we need to get a ad in the paper and, touch base, I mean.
Sherman, could you not make a walk down one side and then come back up the other side? That's what I mean, could you not, that would be probably quicker, easier, more personal.
Right.
Yeah, we can coordinate that. I'd be glad to assist you with that.
Or not, get a train,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Get y'all some
anybody
stuff
being
in,
upset.
man. Man, get y'all some stuff in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman, speaking on the road paving itself, are you satisfied with the quality of work?
I've gone through, a few highlights, Bug Street was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good. Fifth Street School on Sixth Street, I think that came out good. I rode across Plaza Drive, across the bridge, they did.
Yeah.
But, they got some big improvement. Timmy Road was a big improvement, golly, we're doing some good work.
Did they come up with a resolution on Hibbler about the
We would have, and Matt Wisconsin, has been out of town, and him and I and our respective boards kind of visit, talk to them one-on-one, so kind of reassure what the game plan is.
Okay.
Get everybody satisfied. But yes, all in all, I thought it's been good work. And it's speed, they're going through pretty quick.
Good deal. Any more questions for Mr. Freeman?
So you ready for the next phase?
Not quite.
Not quite. They gonna let you, okay. That's mindset. I'm in the mindset for it. I'm saying, that's all we got a mindset for that.
Right.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherman. Any questions, Sherman? All right, Mr. Longstreet.
Mayor and Board. You have a report that we submitted. I want to thank the Westbourne Electric and Water crew for their tireless help and assistance with the Cochran Street Festival as well. And
I forgot y'all.
And,
I'm sorry.
put hours there, trying to make sure it was a wonderful event, and we certainly enjoyed it. Amen.
Well, you're certain to put your foot in your mouth when you start calling out individuals on thanking, because you're gonna forget someone, but let me just say, Westbourne Electric Department was Johnny on the spot, with putting the necessary fixtures down there so that we had sufficient power, and even coming back and troubleshooting, on the day of the event. So I appreciate that. Charge that to I had a senior moment. Yeah. Thank you for your bleachers.
And also, we want to report to the board and mayor that we have started on the lighting at the sportsplex.
Good.
We've got I think 1/4 of the lighting, mayor, already completed. Field 2 that we started, and then start getting bogged down in the mud. And that lift is lighter than the one that Fort County, after they said they would, then they couldn't, they wouldn't anyway. But we're moving forward on getting that corrected. So we've got that already started, Mayor. And you have the financials there. We've already started the preliminary budget process in WPES on where we previously budgeted by the previous administration in WPES and where we are year to date as we move forward with that process as time progresses. In your packet, you have a recommendation that was submitted to CEO Jones and myself from Lawrence White, who's over our wastewater treatment plant, from Daniel Jenkins, who has received his proper evaluation and has completed his probationary period at the water treatment facility. His performance has been exceptional, and according to his evaluation, he's performed his duties very well during the probationary period and is due for an increase. And it states the amount of where he is and where is recommended, which is and that is being presented to board and mayor for your approval.
Okay, this is essentially he's due for a $1 raise.
Yes.
And that follows the.
Hey, yes, it will
No,
follow.
I see all of it. I ain't shaking her head. It does. Okay.
Okay, what do I hear?
Motion that we approve the status adjustment presented by Longstreet.
Second.
It's been moved properly second. In discussion. All in favor by sign of vote aye. Opposers? So ordered.
Next, mayor and board, we have a resignation of Jeremy Klutz, who submitted his formal recommendation of resignation notice effective May 30th, 2024 will be his last day of employment with the city of Westbourne as building inspector.
I know we accept the resignation.
Moving properly second to accept resignation of Mr. Jeremy Klutz. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Any opposers? So ordered.
In light of that, Mr. Mayor, and I know that item's not on the agenda, but do we need to go ahead and give approval for advertisement?
I think he's getting it.
Okay.
Thank you, Selectman McBrayer. Next, board and mayor would like to make a recommendation that you give permission to advertise for a building inspector for the city of Westbourne.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make that motion that we advertise for the bill inspector job ASAP.
Second.
Moving properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Opposed? So ordered.
next, board and mayor, would like to ask for your permission to advertise for electric linemen. We have one who has already made me aware that, he, will be submitting his resignation, and we never filled the position of, the last lineman, that was, released from us. And so we are going to have a need in the electric department. And so we're asking for advertisement for that. David Ellis, if you remember, we never filled that position. And now, Mr. Donahue will be, leaving us next month. And he has talked to me about that, and, as time draws near, but we are already 1 million behind, and if let this one, resign, we'll be 2 million behind in the electric department.
So what are you asking that we do what now?
Approve advertising for linemen.
I make the motion.
Second.
Move proper second in discussion.
Question, discussion. Why don't we go ahead and advertise for 2? I just say,
Well, but one, we haven't gotten a resignation yet, so we,
okay, I got it.
but I mean,
That makes sense, go ahead.
Did Mr.
but if we advertise, you'll get pool of applications.
Yes, right, that's right.
Did the lineman that's departing, did he give us an estimated time frame?
Next June 30th.
Next month.
Next month.
So we've got the rest of this month and the end of June.
And then, of course, he's got, comp time, and sometimes he's gonna be taking off during that time. And I did, talk with him, asking that I would prefer that he not use the 2 weeks comp time prior to the last one of his, of course, it's his, but, I'd like more to sort of spread it out because of the workload, so that we can, keep a flow of work, taking care of the citizens and the needs.
Any more discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Longstreet, going forward, do we or have we been involved with EMCC and some of these other training places that this is along the lines of recruiting new talent, such as linemen and assets that you would need in the election department? Do we set up at like career days, and are we doing that?
Ms. Williams went to the last one, which was about 2-3 weeks ago, and she did go and have a booth set up to accept that. But in the light of what you're saying, we can contact them directly in the electrical area in line when they're training, to make sure that if they have any available candidates in that particular area that are interested in staying in West Point. And we've had some past interest of some candidates coming, but we don't know whether that interest will be again, but we'll announce that, and advertise for that, and we will be in contact with the EMCC about that.
I think it'd be great to take a
Over the years, we have hired from their candidates that come out of the lineman school at EMCC.
We have.
I know of 2 that went through the lineman program down there. And then the last hire came from a surrounding city that we were able to recruit.
All right, just a suggestion.
Okay. We have submitted to C.O. Jones, the TVPP annual compliance for the WPES, and that information is to be submitted up to VPPA, which is the PAC arm of Tennessee Valley Authority. We had our LPC managers meeting here today of the members of the LPC. We also went to the LPC meeting last Thursday in Tupelo concerning the solar panel. Of course, in the eastern part of the county, that process has already started. There may be possibly some savings that we can capitalize on, but at this point, I don't think that based on what we received last Thursday and today, that we're in a position right now in the LPC 14 and the cooperatives of electric to move forward on that. But just for FYI, also, we're about 3 weeks away from completing the lead copper line service inventory. We're finding out, board and mayor, that we have more than 6,500 water meters. We're gonna be somewhere close to somewhere between 6,800 water meters, and we will mirror that with what CSA have in the billing and pair the meter number with the meters. And the meeting that we had with Xylem and Core Main, as far as the resolutions and correcting the reader meeting in the water and gallons versus tenths of gallon, that process, which was going to initially be 69 months, Selectman Booth, Selectman McBride, and Mayor and board, it's going to be cut down hopefully by the end of this month. And they had said it would be October, November. If you recall, when we had the meeting up here, I was very adamant about it. And so hopefully by the end of May, 1st of June, all the meters that have been put in the ground that have not been programmed will be programmed, and the GPS, because what's happening is the GPS has to be done coordinate where the meter is in the field versus somewhere else. So that process is slowly, fast approaching. We did get the $4,500, $9,500 fee waived, so we didn't have to pay that because we felt like they had sold us a bill of goods that was not good. And we still have about 1.2 mil on the existing census meter. Just for thought, if we ever decide to do another program, as you well know, there are some companies who will, if we decide that, roll that into your new project, and or we can determine to secure the services of our most esteemed attorney and tell them that, we're going to sue them and see if they'll give us $750,000 on that we owe, and then we pay the other $250 off, and then go with another meter system. Most municipalities in the LPC that are doing local power companies that are doing water, also do electric, are upgrading their meters and upgrading their infrastructure, the water system. We have a lot of strain in the old West Point, that's 80, 90-year-old, and we got a lot of clay pipe, a lot of galvanized pipe, and today they're going with PVC and polyurethane piping. And so I want to make you aware of those items. And then we have an issue, I think, Selectman Pillar, Mayor, would like to entertain a point for executive session.
Okay. Mr. Longstreet, when the lead and copper rule, when that evaluation is completed, would you provide me a copy of that report?
Yes, sir.
And then for Ms. Williams, we occasionally get formal complaints from folks regarding their utility bills, and she's done an outstanding job of researching the facts related to those complaints and responding quickly, and the Public Service Commission has noted as much and been very complimentary of her responses. So thank you for handling what could be not pleasant situations by giving factual and speedy responses to those complaints.
Thank you, Attorney Richmond, and the staff is doing a good job. We have done a tremendous amount of training and retraining and sharing with them about the importance, board and mayor, that as one of the entities of the city that provides revenue generation for services that are provided, that customer service is utmost, that our customers are to be treated with utmost respect. And of course, I've spent a tremendous amount of time there role playing and going over and handling myself and making sure that anytime you all call or mayor, anyone gives a concern from a customer, that I do all I can to contact that customer. And then I've done role play with them in the last staff meeting. Many times we assume customers and citizens understand the electric bill, and they don't understand when you do it on a payment plan and extension and what they consist of. And they don't understand about kilowatts and gallons of water. And they don't understand that we bill in arrears. We can't bill you in advance for services that you have not used. And so oftentimes they think that my May bill is for May, but your May bill is for April. Your bill in June is for May. And so it's just, just taking a little time and
and being patient and educating our customers and letting them know that we appreciate that. And when there's opportunities that we can assist and help, we want to thank EMA and Ms. Ryland, because oftentimes I get calls from individuals who need service and need help, and we reach out and we work together collectively, and I thank you.
Thanks.
That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
And lastly, I have a statement for the public. I want it to be known, and we'll go formal with an announcement at a later date, but in the coming weeks, I plan on putting on a citywide public forum that'll be headed by me, because it seems that oftentimes in West Point, our citizens are taken to a fake City of West Point page to get their facts about the city, and that's not the best course of action, because a lot of times the people that are commenting and chiming in have absolutely no clue of what's actually going on the grounds. So I will be having a public forum where I will give a state of the city address. I'll let everybody know where we are from a financial standpoint and otherwise. I'll have representation from every service that we offer, and we will field questions. We won't dodge questions. Now, we won't stay there all night, but as time permits, we will take questions from the public, and we will address those questions as best we can. Is there anything else to claim my attention in open forum before we determine the need for executive session?
I want to go back and miss Mr. Public Works. Ms. Shirley Moore wanted me to thank you all publicly for assisting her with the project that y'all were doing and that y'all were walking her through on Washington Street. And so I dropped the ball on that a month ago. So she called me to thank you all and said she really appreciate y'all helping what y'all were able to do for her and walking her through that process. And Mr. Samuel.
And you are talking about Miss Shell, right, Pokey? Shirley Moore. Just, for those, that's what we're talking about.
Appreciate you. I didn't know Miss Shell.
Miss Shell and Pokey.
But absolutely. So I appreciate y'all doing that for her. She was really thankful for everything that y'all helped her through that process. So just know that she really appreciates it.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting to determine the need for an executive session?
Second.
Move proper second, in discussion. All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Opposers?